reaction. Why the f am I doing this in this voice? Ah! Let me start again. What's up, guys? RomanceWriter1 here. It is time for another reaction, and it's another dramatic reading by Sparrow, and it's called Monsters. I'm friends with the monsters inside of my bed. I'm friends with the monsters inside of my head. I got that last part wrong. I know you're gonna get sick of me actually singing that. That was Sparrow's idea, because when I heard him editing, I think I heard him edit the story, I believe, and yeah, he kept mentioning that song, and I was like, screw it, I want to sing it. But this should be an interesting story. I just know it has Rarity. I know that it has Opop Scribbler in it, which is going to be interesting, because she's a great actress, so, yeah, alright. Let's, let me turn the noise down a little bit, and, it's time. 3, 2, 1, let's go. In the meantime, I'll do some stuff, because, you know, we're listening to it, we're not watching it.
There was a monster in the room. Its shape was equine,
But
its mouth was full of thin, needle-like teeth that jutted out in uncomfortable angles that didn't allow it to close its mouth. Loose sheets of colored flesh clung to its frame, appearing to be on the cusp of sliding off its body. The visage of the beast gripped Rarity in an icy fear, but there was also a flicker of anger. Yet that anger melted away when the beast turned its head toward her. Did its head turn, or did she imagine it? Even though it had no eyes to speak of, she could feel it boring into her soul. She glanced at a sheet of fabric draped over the edge of a shelf and wanted to pull it over her body in a vain attempt to protect herself from its piercing gaze.
Stay away from me!
Any moment now,
Scribbler!
The monster would lumber towards her and rip her to pieces with its mouth full of needles. There was nothing she could do to stop it, for her magic was not strong enough to defend herself. And the monster
doesn't really use magic to fight.
Room. In order to get out the door, she'd have to pass within a hoof reach of it. However, it never stirred from its spot, though she couldn't shake the feeling that it was always a moment away from moving toward her. How did this monster even get inside of her home? Did she allow this to happen?
You've done this to yourself.
Who said that?
Her vision swept over the room, but she couldn't see where the voice came from.
The monster you created.
Her eyes widened.
Oh my gosh, Sparrow, was that your voice? Very likely.
Monster, but its mouth never moved. So how did it speak?
What do you mean that I created? I've never created something so hideous.
She said, nose crinkling at the thought of her own hooves playing some role in this monster's birth.
You wouldn't, would you?
Even though its
that
lips
voice
never
is
moved,
getting scary.
Rarity could swear that
it's scarier than when Thomas was Dr.
Ortai, you gave birth to me. I am a culmination of your talents.
No, it can't be true. I don't believe you.
I don't need you to believe me. You know it's true.
She refused to believe the monster, though she heard a grain of truth in its words. She refused to
So as I was saying, the voice is a lot scarier than when Thomas did the doctor.
That had to be
did the doctor in Welcome to the Family. I forgot his name.
Wanting to gaze upon the horrible, lying visage of the monster.
Look at me. My existence cannot be denied. Accept the truth.
This is reminding me of when Dark Sides Connect.
where she
right now.
stood.
The fanfic I'm trying to write.
No.
Accept it.
Hot tears threatened to
Excuse
fall
me.
from her
Allergies.
eyes, so she closed them as tight as she could. But that was not enough. The offending drops of water built in the corners of her eyes until she could no longer hold them back. She felt the tears stream down her cheeks.
Why are you doing this to me?
That's a good question.
It sound like what I'm saying is a bad thing. Should
It
you
is!
be proud of me? I am your greatest creation.
No, you can't be.
She wanted to deny it,
Excuse me.
but she felt the roots
Dang allergies.
strangling her heart.
Unmarked.
Can't be it.
Dang, it's not the same offer.
Sees me. They'll know that it was you who gave me life. Every pony will know.
Please, no. No one can know that I made
Oh,
you.
Scribbler, how do you do your rarity voices? I like to know.
The monster's words were so simply delivered that it sounded like the monster had
Second checker
spoken
stuff.
about a pleasant spring day. But the words made Rarity feel a winter's chill.
No one will ever know you made anything.
Like I said, this is like when dark sides connect, like heartbreak.
Try and try again to give life to something that everyone will love, but no one will notice. Even if you shout it from the rooftops, they won't hear you. Even if what you create is beautiful, no one will be there to see it.
Beautiful. What?
No one will even tell you if they hated it. You will fall into obscurity, forgotten. It will be like you never existed.
Tighter and tighter.
It's
the
like when dark
roots
sides connect, when heartbreak
squeezed,
encounters
crushing her
dark
heart
again.
to pieces.
There's a part where he's like,
Cold
look at me,
and painful.
drink this love
Rarity's
potion. She's like,
legs
really?
stood out
Love
under
potions don't
her.
affect me. Like, that sort of thing.
Why
A little
do
more
you
comedy.
say that? Why are you trying to hurt me? This can't be right.
Can't it? Look behind you.
If I hear this voice anymore, I'm gonna get nightmares. Thanks a lot, Sparrow.
When Rarity turned around,
Again,
she
your
saw
demon
the
voices
one
are always good.
monsters she had made
They're
before
good,
the
but
monster
scary.
as nothing more than carcasses. It was only now that she noticed their putrid smell. Her stomach churned. The sight of her beloved creations lying in such a disgraceful pile made a hot anger swell within her. But then that anger gave way to a dull ache in the remnants of her heart.
I hate you.
No, you don't. That is why I exist. There is love inside of me. Love that you placed there. Whether you meant it.
Then again, another scene that's more comedic, like Heartbreak and Dark. Heartbreak always said she hated him,
Truth.
but I think she actually
Why
liked
must
him.
you be so cruel to me?
The truth was never meant to be kind. Would you rather I let you falsely believe that you have a chance at creating a creature that is loved and desired by all? That hope is a much crueler fate than anything I could ever say to you.
Was the monster right? Was there no hope of her giving life to something that would be so desired by ponies? There had to be a chance. There just had to be.
Maybe if I just try again, surely
Do you hear the desperation in your own voice? It sounds like you don't even believe your own words.
But I've never wanted anything more than this.
She said, looking at all the images of the beautiful creations that hung on her walls. Creations that inspired her not just to create things of equal value, but to give life to things of even greater beauty. Ever since she saw the crowd's reactions to her creations during the talent show when she was a little filly, she dreamed of making ponies smile because of
Oh,
something
is this a
she gave
callback
life
to Cheat Mark
Was this
Chronicles?
just naive of her to believe that she could make a living off this dream? The longer she stared at the images, the further away they appeared to be. She couldn't touch the images even if she wanted to. There were so many other ponies like her. Ponies with dreams and talents that rivaled and perhaps even surpassed her own. What made her so special as compared to them? What made her think she deserved to stand out in a crowd? Rarity lowered her head, closing her eyes, cutting herself from the dream that once inspired her, but now only tormented her.
Yes, that's right. Give up on this ridiculous dream of yours. It will only cause you pain. You will never be happy. You will never be fulfilled. You will only be disappointed. Better to feel all this pain now than wait until later.
But I've tried so hard. I have so many rejection letters that I've stopped counting them when they come in the mail. My parents don't even know about the letters. How can I tell them that I've thought about making it out on my own because no one wants to sell my dresses? There's a little boutique that recently went on sale just outside of town that would be perfect for what I need. It needs work, but I have some bits saved up, and I think it could really be something someday.
Tell me, how is a nobody supposed to create something out of nothing?
I don't know anymore.
Rarity! Rarity, are you home? A high-pitched voice came from somewhere in the house. No. Why was Sweetie Belle home early? Rarity could not let
he's
her
playing
little sister
Sweetie
know
Belle. I
about
remember you
this.
couldn't get the actress.
Sweetie Belle can't see you.
Why not share your creation with her? Why not share
With a little kid.
She can't see me like this.
Rarity, is that you? She heard Sweetie Belle's voice grow louder as she approached her room.
Oh, Sweetie Belle, we're in here. Stop it.
But you know you want to share your misery with her.
Is it just me, or does this monster sound like a bit like when people are depressed? Like the depression kicks in.
Quick, Sweetie Belle. Your sister
And that
wants you
happens?
to feel her pain. No.
Like if that happens, is it like depression? Like I think this is kind of like what happens when I'm depressed and the depression kicks in.
There was
It's always
shock
like you'll never
in
be
the monster's
happy,
unmoving
you'll never be
face.
this.
What are you doing?
Don't mind me, it's just doing work.
Rarity, are you okay? I heard a loud crash in your voice and thought that... She glanced around the room. What happened in here? Why are your dresses in the corner?
Those ratty things. I was just going to throw them out.
Throw them out? Are you crazy?
No voice
Sweetie
crack.
Belle took a step toward the dresses.
I didn't
Don't
think
walk
this
near that
was
thing.
dark as a voice crack.
Sweetie Belle stopped.
I'm
There
having
was a
voice
puzzled
cracks a
look on
lot
her
lately.
face when
Oh,
she
good.
glanced at the monster. It's just a mannequin. Rarity blinked a few times, not believing her sister's words. But she was right. Where the monster used to be was only a simple mannequin. Where did the monster go? Or had it always been as such?
Bit of a hallucination?
Her steps were slow when she approached the mannequin, fearing that its innocent appearance was just a disguise to lure her into a false sense of security before transforming back into its monstrous form. Yet when she removed the spools from atop the mannequin, it never turned back. Its flesh was nothing more than the failed dress she had been working on all afternoon before she went to check on the mail, while its teeth were only the needles she haphazardly shoved into the mannequin's muzzle when she had given up on the dress after reading her latest rejection letter.
Just a mannequin?
Rarity whispered to herself, even though she did not quite believe it.
This
even
is like
if
when
it
people
was
go a
true.
bit crazy and that
Sweetie Belle
happens.
ran her right hoof through the dress pile. They're so pretty. How can you want to get rid of these?
They're not good enough.
It's kind of like,
Not good enough.
it's kind of
Look
like,
at this one.
There's nothing to see.
it's kind of like when I say that,
Rarity? Are you okay?
it's kind of like when I say my
She saw
content
the
isn't all that
concern
special,
on
really.
Sweetie
Like,
Belle's
well, some people
face,
say it's really
and
good,
knowing
I
that
just
she
don't
was
think
the
so.
cause of her sister's worry made her eyes water.
I'm fine. Why don't you go play in the yard?
Not until you tell me what's bothering you.
Share your pain.
No, she didn't want to burden her sister with her problems.
I'm fine. Honestly.
Rarity offered her sister a small smile, meant to reassure her, but as her lips turned up, she felt how disingenuous the smile was. No, you're not. That did it. As soon as her sister touched her, she felt the tears rush down her cheeks.
Aww.
Just can't do it anymore.
Can't do what?
This is,
All of
this is so like when I'm depressed.
Wait a second. Are you talking about your dresses?
This is so like me.
Rarity nodded.
This is so like me when I'm depressed.
But you're the best dressmaker in all of Equestria. Why would you say that? Her sister sparked a small flicker of joy inside of her ruined heart. But it didn't last. Sorrow came back like a wave crashing on the shoreline of a beach, snuffing the flicker out, turning it to smoke.
because of this.
She didn't even have to look at her latest letter to know that it sat in the center of her desk. She levitated it over to herself and dropped it on the floor. What's this? Sweetie Belle picked up the letter and started reading. They don't know what they're talking about. You shouldn't let one letter get to you.
Kind
But it's not just one.
of like how
Very
Sparrow, when
concentrated
he's
on
talking
her
to me, like
desk,
he says,
and
don't
pulled
let
out
people
one of the
that have hurt
drawers.
you before get the
When she
better of
flipped it
you.
over,
Like he's told me
dozens
that
of letters
before.
rained onto the
And I'm
floor.
just like, it's not
Don't you
easy.
see how many there are? They can't all be wrong, can they? Maybe
I
they
just
see
say it's not
something wrong
easy
with me that I can't
because
see.
I had known them for a very
There's
long
nothing wrong
time.
with you, though.
So,
Sweetie Belle glanced back at the pile of dresses. Ah, give me a second. I'll be right back.
and some people know stuff that can trigger me a lot.
Rarity sniffed and wiped her nose on the back of her right hoof. Goodness, she had to look terrible.
As terrible as your dresses.
Why couldn't the monster leave her
Oh
alone?
boy.
It had won.
Shoot.
She now knew that she had no discernible talent to speak of. The monster should be celebrating its victory and leaving her to wallow in self-loathing.
It's
There was
kind of
no
like
need for it
depression.
to subject her
You
to
want to
this
stop
additional
something you
torment.
really like to do, but depression takes over you and just says, and just keeps on
I'm
going.
back,
I
Sweetie Belle
guess.
said, carrying one of her dresses.
Why do you have that?
Tell me what you see.
Well, the colors are uninspired and the chain stitching near the hemline is a little sloppy in places.
Further proof that she did not have any right to call herself a designer with such amateurish mistakes.
I remember when
Sweetie
this
Belle shook
happens
her
in the
head.
underground realm a lot when I'm very
Do you
depressed.
know what I see? I see the light yellow and how you told me you picked the color because it captured the feeling of a spring morning.
I remember when people try to cheer me up because I'm depressed.
Still might not be the most
There were times I would just go,
but
no,
I guess I had a good
I don't
reason
have
for
like,
choosing
I
it.
must be heartless because I am, because
Mhm.
all I've done
And
is
who
so
cares if you missed
bloody
the beat
dark,
on
like
pattern?
that sort of thing.
Everything else is practically perfect. Plus, you sewed it all by hoof. That's super hard to do.
I don't know about that. You just need to have patience
Stop
and...
selling yourself short. That's like really cool that you can do
Is
that.
it weird that I can relate to this story?
A smile crept
Like
onto
this?
Rarity's face.
Because what I've gone through?
Except, this time, it was genuine.
Like when my dad
Her
kicked me out of my
sister
house,
was
I
right.
basically,
She had been
I think
selling
something just
herself
snapped in
short
me
as
and
of
I've
late.
changed a lot.
Perhaps it was unfair of her to be so hard on herself. Maybe.
But what does she know about fashion? She's only saying these things because she's your sister and doesn't want to see you upset.
This is what I'm thinking when I'm depressed and people go, oh, come on, you're such a great person. And I'm just like, oh, if you knew what happened before, you wouldn't think so.
She would.
You're just being too nice because you're my friend. Like that sort of thing.
Like
even my closest friends have said it too.
But Rarity knew her little
Not
sister.
all of them, but
She wouldn't. The monster hissed in pain. Did this mean that she should try submitting her designs again?
You will fail.
Rarity, I believe in you. Now, can you just believe in yourself?
I can't believe in myself most of the time.
A warmth built within Rarity that she felt her heart mend. Tears gently rolled off of her face, but these tears felt different. They were happy. She returned her sister's hug with interest, and in this moment, she knew there would be no more submissions. She would buy that boutique. She would make it on her own. She would listen to her sister and believe in herself. She felt the monster's presence, but it was weak.
It will never work.
Enough was enough, and just like that, she could feel the monster start to fade.
Oh, you have silenced me this time, but I will always be with you.
I kind of wish there was a way to get rid of
Even
depression.
as it faded to
Like, I
nothing,
wish that
she felt the
you
monster's
could do
horrible
that,
smile
because
to the last
I don't like it.
second.
No one does.
Thank you
For what?
for believing in me
Aww.
when I couldn't believe in myself.
There was
Then again,
never a
I switch
monster
back
in
and
the
forth when
room.
this sort of thing comes.
The
I
monster
believe in you.
lived
Oh,
inside
thanks.
of her the
I don't believe in
whole time.
myself. I should. Maybe I should just end
now
it all
was
like that
dormant,
sort of thing.
waiting for its
I've
moment
said
to
that
strike
many
back.
times, and
Yet as long as she believed in herself, she knew that she could stand up to the monster should it arise once more. And if for some reason she couldn't handle the darkness inside of her alone, she knew that she could rely on her sister to help her find the light again.
it's a really good story. Okay, yeah, that was Monsters, a dramatic reading by Sparrow9642. Wow, is it weird that I say that this story reminds me of when I'm, like, really depressed, and my depression gets to me, like it gets to me when someone or something triggers me, like that sort of thing. Like, if someone says something that I don't want to hear, that just kicks in, and I'm instantly like, look, I did some very terrible stuff. I have tried to admit that I'm at fault, but I don't think anyone's ever going to believe me, like, ever. And yeah, like Sparrow has helped me out with this sort of thing many times, which is also why he's a good friend as well. And like he knows what he's doing when it comes to me getting through that sort of thing, because he's witnessed me going, like, really depressed to the point where I just want to end my life altogether. Like, I don't even tell my mom about this all that much. Like, she knew what I was going through all summer. She knew. She gave me advice. It was kind of similar to what Sparrow said. You know, just ignore them. It'll eventually go away. And I'm just like, no, it's not going to end until, like, the next year happens. Because they're not going to stop until I end my own life. Until I end my own life. Then that way, I could see if they actually cared or not. But, either way, I should get going before I get, like, super upset and emotional at the moment. So, yeah. But I'll see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. Go check out Sparrow's channel. He's an awesome guy. And he's also very great to talk to and a great friend. Cool. I'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed.